Welcome to your deep dive. Today, we're going to be talking all about CES 2025. Specifically, we're taking a front row seat at Jensen Huang's keynote. You sent in his transcript and some other fascinating pieces about NVIDIA's journey and where they're taking AI next.
It is really interesting to see how NVIDIA has evolved. They're not just about graphics anymore. They're laying the groundwork for AI in almost every industry imaginable.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Jensen starts his keynote by taking us back to NVIDIA's beginnings, back in 1993. It's pretty wild to think they started with a vision of making computers do things regular PCs just couldn't.
Yeah, their first product, the NV1, was all about bringing that immersive gaming experience to your home computer. Kind of like a console, but on PC.
I see, and their programming architecture. It was originally called UDA. They actually added the C later for CUDA, which is now synonymous with AI processing.
Yeah, and it's funny, that first CUDA application was for Sega's Virtual Fighter. Talk about a blast from the past. Then in 1999, they invented the GPU, the graphics processing unit, which totally changed the game for computer graphics.
So GPUs were the foundation, but how did they become so central to AI?
Well, that's where CUDA comes in. Nvidia invented it in 2006, so developers could use GPUs for way more than just graphics. But it wasn't an overnight success.
Yeah, it took time for people to really see the potential.
Almost 6 years. But then in 2012, this group of researchers, Alex Krzyzewski, Ilya Sutskever, and Jeff Hinton, used CUDA to process AlexNet. It was this neural network designed for image recognition, and it blew everything else out of the water.
That's incredible. So that was the turning point, the spark that lit the AI explosion.
Exactly. Suddenly, AI wasn't just about understanding images or words. It could generate them. Think about it. First, AI could recognize a cat in a photo. Then it could create a photo of a cat from scratch.
Wow, that's a huge leap.
Yeah.
And where does GeForce fit into all of this?
GeForce, NVIDIA's gaming GPUs, actually brought AI to the masses. It was in everyone's gaming rigs. Now, as Jensen puts it, AI is returning the favor, transforming GeForce itself.
Which brings us to the big reveal at CES 2025, the GeForce RTX 50 series, built on the new Blackwell architecture. These GPUs are on a whole other level.
Oh yeah, we're talking 92 billion transistors and a dedicated AI processing power of 4 teraflops. That's 3 times more than the previous generation.
And here's where it gets really interesting. All that power is put to work in features like DLSS deep learning supersampling. It uses AI to generate extra frames and predict pixels, making games look unbelievably smooth and realistic.
And it's not just about making things look prettier, though. DLSS is actually a huge advancement because the AI is essentially filling in the blanks, creating details that weren't there before. It's almost like AI is enhancing human capabilities.
That's mind-blowing. And the performance jumps are insane. The RTX 5070 can deliver the same power as the previous top-end card, the 4090, but at a fraction of the cost.
It's like getting a supercar for the price of a family sedan. And did you see how compact that 5090 is? Jensen was practically juggling GPUs on stage.
I know, right? He even joked about needing more pockets to carry all the hardware he was presenting. It's clear they've packed a crazy amount of tech into such a tiny space.
So we've got these superpowered GPUs. But how are they going to be used to push AI even further? That's where the 3 scaling laws of AI come in.
Okay, let's dive into that. The first law is more data plus larger models plus more computing power equals more capable AI. Pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, it is. But NVIDIA isn't stopping there. They've identified 2 new scaling laws that are accelerating AI development even further. The first is called post-training scaling.
Okay, so what's that all about?
Think of it like giving AI a personal trainer. After the initial training, the AI keeps getting better by using techniques like reinforcement learning and human feedback. It's like having a mentor to guide its development.
So it's constantly learning and refining its skills. That's amazing.
Exactly. And the second new law is test time scaling. This is where things get really fascinating. The AI actually learns to adjust its own computing resources based on the complexity of the task.
So for simple tasks, it can conserve energy, but for more challenging problems that require deeper reasoning, it can ramp up its processing power. That makes a lot of sense.
It's like the AI is learning to think for itself. These 3 scaling laws together are driving an incredible demand for computing power. And that's where NVIDIA's latest data center GPU comes in Blackwell.
Now we're talking serious hardware. What's the scale of this thing?
It's mind-boggling. Jensen described Blackwell systems being assembled in 45 factories worldwide. One system weighs 1.5 tons and contains 2 miles of copper cable.
2 miles of cable. That's longer than some towns.
It is. But the most impressive part is the efficiency. Blackwell achieves a four-fold improvement in performance per watt compared to the previous generation. That means data centers can potentially quadruple their revenue while using the same amount of energy.
That's huge, especially as data centers are always trying to find ways to be more energy efficient.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about how all this power is going to be used. One of the most exciting areas is the rise of AI agents. This is where AI really gets to work in the real world.
So what exactly are AI agents? Are we talking about robots?
Not necessarily robots, but AI systems that can work together like teams to solve complex problems. This is a huge shift from AI simply answering questions to AI that can reason, plan, and take action.
So instead of asking an AI, what's the weather like, we're giving it a complex goal and letting it figure out how to achieve it.
Precisely. And Nvidia sees this as the next big workforce, working alongside humans to boost productivity and innovation.
That's pretty mind-blowing. But how do we go from this incredible concept to AI agents actually working in businesses?
Nvidia's developed tools to make it happen. One is called NIMs. Think of them as prepackaged AI building blocks that are optimized for easy integration.
So developers can take these NIMs and combine them to create custom AI solutions for all sorts of tasks.
Exactly. And they've also developed Nemo, a platform for onboarding and training these digital employees. It's almost like creating an HR department for your AI workforce.
So IT departments are going to be managing AI teams instead of just software. That's a fascinating shift.
It is, and NVIDIA is right at the forefront of this transformation. But there's still a challenge. How do we bring all this incredible cloud-based AI power to personal computers? Not everyone has access to powerful cloud infrastructure.
That's a great point. So how does NVIDIA plan to make AI accessible to everyone?
Their solution is really clever. They're leveraging Windows WSL2, the Windows subsystem for Linux, to create a bridge between the cloud and your PC. WSL2 lets you run a full Linux environment within Windows, and it's optimized for CUDA and cloud-native apps.
So all those NIMS microservices, Nemo training tools, and AI models can run on your Windows PC.
That's right. And to show what's possible, Jensen showed off AI-assisted image generation. Imagine artists using simple 3D objects to guide AI in creating images. It's like sculpting with light and pixels.
That opens up so much creative potential. But it's not just art. Imagine AI-powered tools for everything from writing to scientific research, all running right on your desktop.
Exactly. It's about giving individuals the power to do things they never thought possible. And this is just the beginning of what NVIDIA has in store. So we just explored how NVIDIA is bringing AI to personal computers, but they're not stopping there. Now we're entering the realm of world foundation models AI that understands the physical world.
Okay, this is where it gets really sci-fi. We're talking AI that can grasp things like gravity, spatial relationships, and cause and effect. It's like AI is learning the rules of our world.
Exactly. Imagine AI that can predict how objects will move and interact in the real world, just like we do intuitively. That's what NVIDIA is aiming for with their new platform called Nvidia Cosmos.
Cosmos? Tell me more about that. What makes it so groundbreaking?
It's being called the world's first world foundation model, and it's been trained on a massive data set of over 20 million hours of video. But this isn't just any video, it's footage specifically focused on physical dynamics.
So they're showing the AI videos of how things move and interact in the real world.
Exactly. Things like humans walking, hands manipulating objects, things falling, all those actions that seem simple to us. But AI has traditionally struggled with. By training on this kind of data, AI can start to develop a deeper understanding of how our world works.
I can see how that would be a game changer for things like robotics.
Absolutely. Imagine robots that can learn by watching humans, or factories that can optimize their processes by simulating different scenarios in a virtual world that behaves just like the real one.
So it's like they're creating a virtual sandbox where AI can experiment and learn without any real-world consequences.
That's a great way to put it. And Jensen actually talked about combining Cosmos with Nvidia Omniverse, their platform for creating digital twins, to create what he called a multiverse simulator. It's like they're building an entire virtual universe for AI to play in.
That's incredible. It sounds like this technology has the potential to revolutionize a lot of industries.
It does. And Jensen gave some really interesting examples of how this is already happening. One area he highlighted was industrial digitalization, specifically smarter factories and optimized warehouses.
So how is AI being used to make factories and warehouses smarter?
They're partnering with companies like Keynote, a leader in warehouse automation, and Accenture, a global professional services company, to build digital twins of warehouses using NVIDIA Mega.
Hold on. We've covered a lot of names today. Remind me, what's Nvidia Mega?
It's essentially a blueprint within Omniverse, a pre-built environment that lets companies easily create digital twins of their spaces. So with Nvidia Mega, they can create a virtual replica of the warehouse, down to the robots moving around and packages being sorted.
Okay, I'm picturing it now. So they have this virtual copy of the warehouse. What do they do with it?
Here's the beauty of it. They can test and optimize everything in the virtual world before they deploy it in the real one. They can experiment with different layouts, robot configurations, and workflows to find the most efficient and effective solution.
It's like a giant AI-powered puzzle, and they're constantly searching for the perfect fit.
Exactly. And this not only saves time and money, but also minimizes disruptions to the real-world operation. You can even train the AI agents in the virtual warehouse, so they're ready to hit the ground running when they're deployed in the real one.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like giving the AI a chance to practice and learn in a safe environment before going out into the real world.
Precisely. And this approach isn't just limited to factories and warehouses. One of the biggest areas where we're seeing this technology transform things is in the automotive industry.
Of course, we can't talk about the future without mentioning self-driving cars.
Right. Jensen actually declared that the AV revolution is here,
Yeah.
and he's got a point. We're seeing self-driving cars becoming a reality on our roads, and AI is a major driving force behind it.
And Nvidia is right in the thick of it, working with pretty much every major car company out there.
They are. Names like Tesla, BYD, Jaguar Land Rover, Mercedes, and they just announced a new partnership with Toyota to develop next-generation autonomous vehicles.
So what exactly is Nvidia providing for these car companies?
They're offering the whole package, the full stack of AI technology for autonomous vehicles. Everything from training the models to deploying them in the cars themselves.
It sounds like they're positioning themselves as the go-to AI partner for the automotive industry.
They are, and they're getting amazing results. Jensen shared an example of how they're using AI to turn thousands of real-world drives into billions of miles of synthetic training data.
Wait, so they're taking real-world driving data and then using it to create a massive amount of simulated driving data.
Exactly. It's like taking a road trip around the world millions of times over, all within a computer simulation. This allows them to train the AI on a much wider range of scenarios than would be possible in the real world.
That's a brilliant approach. It's like giving the AI a crash course in driving, but without any actual crashes.
Exactly. And speaking of pushing the boundaries of what's possible, they also unveiled their next generation processor for autonomous vehicles called Drive Thor.
Drive Thor. I love the name. What's so special about this new processor?
It boasts 20 times the processing power of its predecessor. It's an absolute beast.
So these self-driving cars are going to be packed with some serious computing power. But what about safety? With all this AI in control, how can we be sure these cars are safe?
That's a crucial question, and Jensen addressed it head on. He proudly announced that Drive OS, their operating system for autonomous vehicles, has achieved ASIL-D certification.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that. What does ASIL-D certification mean?
It's the highest standard of functional safety for automobiles. It means this technology has been rigorously tested and proven to be reliable in even the most challenging situations.
So it's like a gold standard for safety in the automotive industry.
Exactly. It's a huge milestone. And it really shows NVIDIA's commitment to developing autonomous systems that are both powerful and safe. But AI isn't just about cars and factories, it's also transforming the world of robotics. And Jensen had some really exciting announcements in this area as well.
Let's hear it. What's NVIDIA doing with robots?
One of the biggest challenges in robotics is training, especially when it comes to humanoid robots, those that are designed to move and interact with the world like humans do.
Yeah, I can imagine that's incredibly complex.
It is. Collecting real-world demonstration data for these robots is incredibly time-consuming and difficult. So NVIDIA has developed a platform called Isaac Groot to address this challenge.
Isaac Groot. Another great name. So what's the idea behind this platform?
It's specifically designed to accelerate the development of general-purpose robots, focusing on a technique called imitation learning.
Imitation learning. So
Yeah.
the robots are learning by watching humans.
That's the idea. Instead of painstakingly programming every single movement, robots can now learn by observing and mimicking human actions.
I can see how that would be much more efficient. But how exactly does it work?
Groot uses a combination of AI, virtual reality, and simulation to turn a handful of human demonstrations into massive amounts of synthetic training data. It's like having a robot shadow a human expert and learn all their skills by mimicking their actions.
That's fascinating. So they're basically creating a virtual training ground for robots.
Exactly. And because it's happening in the virtual world, they can speed up time, create endless variations, and train the robot on scenarios that would be too dangerous or difficult to replicate in the real world.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like a safe and controlled environment where robots can hone their skills before they go out into the real world.
Precisely. And speaking of pushing the boundaries of what's possible, Jensen saved a surprise for the very end of his keynote, Project Digits. This is where things get really personal. So we left off talking about Project Digits, Jensen's one more thing moment. This is where NVIDIA's vision for AI gets really personal.
Okay, so what is Project Digits? Fill me in.
It's a compact AI supercomputer designed for individuals, artists, students, software engineers, anyone who wants to experience the power of AI firsthand.
A supercomputer for everyone. That sounds pretty ambitious. What does it actually look like?
It's like having a miniature version of NVIDIA's powerful DGX system right on your desk. And to make this possible, they teamed up with MediaTek, a leading chip designer, to create the GB110 chip, the heart of this mini supercomputer.
So they've managed to shrink down all this incredible technology into something that can fit on your desk. What are the implications of that?
Oh, it's a game changer for accessibility. It means that the power of AI is no longer limited to large companies or research institutions. Anyone with a Project Digits device can now experiment with AI, develop new applications, and push the boundaries of what's possible.
It's like they've democratized AI,
Yeah,
giving everyone access to these powerful tools. That's a pretty incredible vision.
it is. And it ties into a recurring theme throughout Jensen's keynote, the idea that AI is becoming pervasive, woven into the fabric of our lives. He sees a future where AI is everywhere, empowering individuals and industries alike.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. We went from the birth of the GPU to AI agents that can learn by watching us, robots training in virtual worlds, and now a personal AI supercomputer.
It's been quite a journey, and I think it's safe to say that NVIDIA is playing a pivotal role in shaping the future of AI.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up, what are the key takeaways from this deep dive into NVIDIA's vision? What should we be thinking about as we move forward into this AI-powered future?
For me, one of the biggest takeaways is that NVIDIA is no longer just a hardware company. They're building a comprehensive AI ecosystem, bringing together hardware, software, and simulation to create a seamless and scalable platform.
It's not just about the individual pieces, it's about how they all work together to unlock the full potential of AI.
Right. And that ecosystem is designed for growth. Remember those 3 scaling laws we talked about? More data, larger models, and more computing power, all leading to more capable AI. NVIDIA is addressing all of those fronts, building the infrastructure to train massive AI models, deploy them at the edge, and continuously refine them in virtual worlds.
And we can't forget about the rise of physical AI. With Nvidia Cosmos, they're teaching AI to understand the physical world, not just digital information. That's a huge leap forward, and it has the potential to revolutionize industries like robotics and automation.
It does. Think about the possibilities: robots that can move and interact with the world just like humans, factories that can optimize their processes with incredible precision, and self-driving cars that can navigate complex scenarios with greater safety and reliability. It's like we're blurring the lines between the physical and digital, creating a seamless interplay between the two.
It's a mind-blowing concept, and the fact that they're making this technology accessible to individuals with projects like the AI-powered PC and Project Digits is really exciting. It's like they're empowering everyone to be a part of this AI revolution.
That's what makes this such an exciting time to be alive. We're at the cusp of a new era where AI is going to touch every aspect of our lives, and the possibilities are truly limitless.
I think that's a great note to end on. It's been an incredible journey exploring NVIDIA's vision for the future of AI. And I hope this deep dive has inspired you to think about the role AI will play in your own life and how you can harness its power to create something amazing.
Absolutely. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah.
Because the future of AI is in our hands.
That's it for our deep dive into NVIDIA at CES 2025. We hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, keep diving deep.